guys, it's Angie Bells, my fairy treasures. Okay, you guys, finally I'm making this video on this tutorial about how to do the waffle stitch in knitting. And also with the waffle stitch, I'm doing the hashtag 100 days project, and I'm making knitted granny squares. Jeannie, I saw your video earlier saying Angela's making squares. She calls them granny squares, but they're not really granny squares. Hey, I'm doing fake granny squares. Anyway, I like to call them knitted granny squares. Anyway, and out of my knitted granny squares, I'm so excited. When I'm done with the 100 days, I'm gonna start even before the 100 days. I'm gonna make a nice long cardigan granny square, knitted granny square cardigan. So I'm excited. Okay, so this video. I'm making this video to show you guys how to do the waffle stitch, plus how to do this knitted granny square. Okay, so I've already casted on 13 stitches. What it is, it has to be multiples of 3 plus 1. Okay, for the waffle stitch. So multiples of 3 plus 1. So the multiples of 3 is the 12, but I have to add one more on, so it's 13. So I cast it on 13 stitches, and I already got the first. You need to do the repeat 5 times to create a 5 by 5 knitted granny square. So I've already done 3. I've already repeated the pattern 3 times. Now I'm going to repeat the pattern 4 times. And what I do to keep track of things is I do it like this. Okay, so I do, the first row is purl 1, knit 1, purl 2, knit to the last stitch. And when I'm done, I cross that out. The next one is purl 1, knit 2. I do that, then I cross it out. And that way, when I'll interrupt myself. No one even has to interrupt me. I'll be watching, YouTube or something, or I'll talk to my husband, and then I don't know where I'm at. So this is my system to keep track of myself. So I just wrote this down. Knit 1, purl 2, knit to the last stitch. So you guys write this down if you want to do a waffle stitch. It's multiples of 3. If you want to do these 5 by 5 square knitted granny squares, you cast on 12 stitches plus 1. So write all this down because I don't want to have to put it in the description. First row, knit 1, purl 2, knit to the and knit 1, purl 2, knit the last stitch. Second row, purl 1, knit 2. Third row, knit. Fourth row, purl. And you do this 5 times. If you do it 5 times, you'll get a 5 by 5 knitted granny square. Also, I'm using a size 4, a weight 4 held double. Okay, so those are everything if you want to make these the way I'm doing it. Okay, so let's get started. So the first row is, oh, and the knitting needle size is a US 11. So write all that stuff down so I don't have to put anything in the description. Okay, so we got knit 1. Okay. Oh, geez. I just messed up right from the get-go. Okay, what is going on? Just a second, guys. Let me just... What it is that I'm going to bring my camera back. There we go. We got it. What it is, it's awkward to hold. Let me see if I can bring this back. It's awkward to do a tutorial with your arms here, just the way you have to set up under the camera with your arms here. It's just different. Okay, so I knit the first stitch, put the yarn in front, and purl 2. But now I'm good. I moved the camera, so I think that that's gonna make it better. And now purl 2. Okay, and make sure you always, after you purl, bring your yarn back around so you're ready to knit again, right? Okay, I'm going to show you something, and I don't know how I did it, but I did. Okay, see how there's only 1 stitch right here? If that happens to you, just add it to the next one, okay? So knit 1. And I'm kind of happy when things like that happen because then I can show you, so when you come across it, you know what to do. Knit 1. Put the yarn in front and purl 2. I'm looking at my camera to make sure I'm in frame and that you guys can see. Now make sure you take your yarn and put it back in the front, okay? Or not in front. Make sure you put your yarn in the back, okay? Yarn always has to be behind when you knit, in front when you purl. Knit 1, purl 2. And always make sure that you have both, when you're knitting double with 2 strands, that you have both strands the whole time. And that's probably how I ended up with that one strand, because I somehow got caught up and didn't get both strands. So it happens, but I wanted to show you that so you know how to fix it. Knit 1, put yarn in front, purl 2. Now I didn't end up with knitting my last stitch, but it'll still work out, okay guys? You do want to end it with knitting your last stitch, but it didn't work that way this time. No problem though. Okay, so now the next row is purl 1, knit 2. Okay. So I'm glad I'm showing you guys my mistakes or my little mess ups, because then when it happens to you, you know how to fix them, or you know if things are going to be okay. Okay, so purl 1. Oh, so let me show you this. Whenever you're going to purl, and your purl is going to be your first stitch, make sure your yarn is in front of your work like this. Okay, so just lay it over your arm. Then you go in and stab toward yourself, right? And then wrap around and come out the back. Okay, so then from here we have to make sure that we take our yarn and go and put it back behind again before we knit 2. Okay. I'm going to get myself some of the smaller smaller knitting needles. I mean, these aren't that big, but I need to see why people get those little short ones. Okay, so put your yarn in front, purl, stab towards yourself, wrap around, put your yarn in the back again. Okay, knit 2. Okay, purl, so put your yarn in the front, stab towards yourself, and there we go, and knit 2. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna put that on my list to get some shorter knitting needles. A lot of times people have to use those double pointed ones, which will be fine. I'm gonna write that down right now. Double pointed knitting needles. Definitely need those. Okay, and I put my yarn in the back, so let's knit 2. And because things didn't go away, I ended up how I'm supposed to end up. On this, you're supposed to, your last one is purl 1, right? Because that's what we started with. So purl, put your yarn in front and purl. And there we go. Now, always take your work and turn it over like that. And make sure that this is always facing that way, okay? And you're going to end up with things going the right way. Let me just look at what's going on here. Yeah, we're good. Okay, so next is knit all the stitches. Let me show you my piece of paper. So, see how I keep track? And I've crossed off both those, and now I know I'm on knit. I just have to remember to cross off when I'm done, because sometimes I don't do that and I forget. So now this is the easy part. You're just going to knit all the stitches. Let me try to bring this back. Oh, I don't want to take my camera and make it fall off or something crazy. All right. And you guys give me grace, because I've made a lot of videos. You guys have seen that, but there've been, you know, mixed media videos and crafting videos and art videos. I haven't done a lot of videos with knitting. So This is my third or fourth one or something. So just give me a bit of grace, okay? So we're just knitting all of the stitches. And now the next row, okay, so we got all the knitted stitches. Turn your work like that. Make sure that your work, this work is always facing to the right. So now on my piece of paper, I'm going to mark that off, and then the last row on here is purl, right? So now we're going to purl. Make sure you put your yarn, just lay it over your arm in front of you like that. When you're going to start out with purling instead of knitting. Make sure you do that. Okay. And your yarn's already in the front, right? So you just keep your yarn in the front and just keep purling. Oh, I hope I didn't mess up right there. See, I just lost something, but it's okay. Let's just keep going. What I did is I think I went, I think I didn't catch both yarns. I only caught the one, so. But we'll catch it on the next thing. So I'm glad I'm showing you these things. Or if you want, you can pick back and start all over again. But if it's not going to make a big difference, in my opinion, why do it? Now, some people, that will drive them crazy. So do what you need to do for yourself. If you only knitted one of the strands of yarn and you didn't get the other one, and that stresses you out, pick back and pick it up. Okay? All right. So now, again, turn the work. Make sure all of your work is facing this way. Okay? Nice. Okay, so mark that off. So now we've done 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we have to do one more. So I'm going to do this one more time with you guys. So now we're on our 5th set. Okay, so we start again. Knit 1, purl 2, knit to the last stitch. Okay, and you only have to repeat your rows 5 times, and you'll get a perfect 5x5 knitted granny square. Was I going to say something else? I can't remember. Anyway, let's start the pattern again. And this is cool because this is my my knitted granny square for today. I don't know what day I'm on. I have to look. Is this the 11th? 12th? I can't remember. I'll know when I go to take pictures of my granny square and post it today. Okay, so knit 1, purl 2. Put the yarn in front like I just did, and purl 2. Put the yarn back around. Okay, make sure you do that. Knit 1. Put the yarn in front. Purl 2. Put the yarn back around, back in the back of your work. Okay. Knit 1 and purl 2. Bring the yarn back around. Okay, and we did it perfectly this time. Oh no, we didn't. Remember, we had that one singular. So again, see how we only have one? Because remember, I didn't catch it that one time. I only caught the one thing, but you're fine. So knit 1 and purl 2. And like I said, I didn't end up with the my last stitch being knit 1. I I didn't end up knitting my last stitch, but it still works out. So that's why I just keep going. Okay, next row. Purl 1, knit 2. Okay. So make sure your yarn is in the front of your work. Okay. And purl the first. Bring your yarn back to the back of the work and knit 2. And I just marked off what we just did. I already almost forgot to mark it off. But that will help you. Keeping it like that on a pad of paper and marking it off will help you so much if you get interrupted. And you're always going to get interrupted, right? See, I almost didn't get both yarns around. Both yarns. Okay, there we go. And then bring it back to the back of the work. And then knit 2. Okay. Bring your work in front. Purl 1. Knit 2. Okay, bring your yarn to the front of the work. Purl 1. Bring your work to the back. Knit 2. And there we go. Okay. Again, turn your work, make sure your work is always facing to the right. So now we're going to, and so again, I'm going to mark this off and I'm going to knit this row. Okay. So now we're going to knit all the stitches. Yeah, it'll be so much easier under this camera and with the desk here if I get myself the double pointed needles that are a lot shorter for videos. Just because the table gets kind of in the way and you have to kind of hold your arms up. So I'm going to Hobby Lobby today, of course, so I'm going to pick myself up some of those. Definitely in size 15 because I do a lot of stuff with size 15, and then also I'll definitely get them for this. Well, maybe I'll just wait and find out what project I'm going to be doing a tutorial on, and then I'll get them because I don't even know. Okay, so turn your work over. Make sure your work is facing to the right, right? And then mark that knit off, and now it's purl, right? There's purl. Again, always have your yarn. And just throw it over your arm like that, okay? And then we can purl. Make sure you catch both strands. And your yarn's already in front, right? So you just keep going and keep purling. I love these needles. They're beautiful, and I love how they work. These are Knitter's Pride from Hobby Lobby. Look how beautiful they are. Aren't they gorgeous? They were clearancing them out a couple years ago, so I probably picked these up for $1 or $2. I picked up a bunch of interchangeable ones for like $2, $2.75. I was able to get myself a set of knitting needles for like, I don't know, $15 or something. I bought them individually, but they were clearancing them out, and I don't even know why, because these knitting needles are fabulous. I love Knitter's Pride. So we're just purling all of these and purl. There we go. Let's get this away from the edge because I don't want anything to fall. Okay, so, and now look, even though we had a little bit of, okay, oh, and then make sure that you mark off that. So then you know you're all done. So you've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that'll give you, if you hold the yarn double within a size 11 US knitting needle, it will give you a 5x5 square. Okay? And the stitch, this is called the waffle stitch. Look how cool it looks. I'm just looking at the back. Okay, look how cool that stitch is. Isn't that a neat stitch? It's so much texture. And then the back is really cool too. Look at the back. Isn't that neat? And I love putting these two colors together. And that's what I'm doing with my knitted granny squares to get a really cool look. I'm doing two colors together like this and holding them together. And it gives that marled look, which is my favorite. I really, really love it. All right, so then I'll show you how to cast off. Let's cast off really quickly. The only thing I won't do is knit in the ends with you, but let's cast off. So to cast off, you got to knit 2. You only knit 2, just a second. You only knit 2 the first time. After that, it's knitting only 1, but you got to get 2 stitches on your knitting needles, okay? And then you pass over. There we go. See? So now it's only knit 1, and now you got 2 stitches on your needles. Take this one and pass over this one. Okay. Knit. Take these stitches here and pass over that one. Knit 1. Take this stitch and pass over. I remember when I first started knitting, I couldn't, because you don't cast off all the time, right? And I couldn't remember how to cast off for the first couple of years. Every time I finish a project, I have to go review how to cast off. Just I look at it for just about 2 minutes and I'm like, oh yeah. I don't know why I couldn't remember. Well, because you don't cast off all the time. You're working on a project for a week or 2, sometimes a month. So, and I was new to knitting. It was my first year of knitting, so. We're almost done casting off. Okay, and then you take that last stitch, pull it over, pull this tight right here, okay, and then we got to cut this off so that we can, I'm just looking for these ones over there, cast it off, leave enough yarn so that you can weave in the ends easily. And so you take this, I've cut this off now, off the ball band, or off the ball, and then just go like this, okay? And then get this real close by so that you can make sure that you get this, and you just pull. Perfect. And so now we got our knitted granny square. Yeah, we got our knitted granny square, and I'll have to weave in the ends, which I will do off camera. I'm not going to have you guys watch me weave in ends. So I have these ends to weave in, and I have to weave in those ends. But there we go with our knitted granny square. I do want to show you something. When you first start, the stitches are a little bit open here, okay? And that's probably because I'm using the size 11 A lot of time, a chunky 5 or 4 weights put together make a chunky 5. You use a 10. But I want to make sure I have some, see how it flaps? I want to make sure I have some drape. So that's why I went to a size 11. When I sew my ends in on this side, I will sew my ends all the way on the very end here, and then sew it back. And then that way it just solidifies my edge here. And it's not going to, I mean, it'll solidify and make it easier when I start sewing all my squares together. There'll be something really nice and solid here. So you'll notice that like, it's just, the stitches are a little open up here. I'm not really sure why that happens, but anyway. But when I sew my ends in, like I said, I sew them all the way this way and then all the way back. And then that solidifies this more. So when I go to sew all this together, these squares, it'll be good. So there we go. And that is the waffle stitch. All right, you guys, I hope you guys like this video. I absolutely love, okay, I'm going to talk about a few things. I love the waffle stitch. I'm obsessed. I'm going to be doing the waffle stitch a lot more on things. Also, I love knitting these, what I call knitted granny squares. I know there's really probably no such thing as knitted granny squares, but someone said there is a such thing as knitted granny squares. I don't know, but that's what I'm calling them. And I'm really enjoying doing these every day for 100 days because it's so gratifying to finish something every day, because I do a lot of big projects which will take me like, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, sometimes a month, but usually 2 or 3 weeks to make a boho cardigan or make a ruana, but they're always big projects. So it's going to be weeks before I see it done. I get to finish something every day. Like, I love it. And the other thing I love is learning all these different color combinations, like putting this, not that I've never put purple and turquoise together, because I have, but there's other colors that I've put together that I would have never done. And I absolutely love it. In fact, do I have, oh, they're in the other room. I was going to show you all my granny squares, but I've gone through my granny squares. And if you want to see the rest of them, go to my Facebook group, My Fairy Treasures, and then there's our group is called Our Magical Little Place. That's what you really need to join, is our group on Facebook. It's called Our Magical Little Place. And if you're doing the 100 days, definitely post your work there, or just go there just to be inspired. Also, anything you're knitting or crocheting, or you're crafting, or you're arting, or there's a sale, or you want to share your YouTube channel, or you want to share a tutorial, share it over on share it in the group, Our Magical Little Place. Okay. All right. That is it. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I'd love for you to do so. If you can give this video a thumbs up, any comments or questions, leave below. Come visit me on Facebook and Instagram. Real quick, I go live every Wednesday. It's called Angie's Knit and Crochet Night, 5:00 p.m. Pacific. I go live every Friday, it's called Angie's Yarn Party, 11:00 a.m. Pacific. I go live with the Yarny Fiber Sisters every Saturday, 4:00 p.m. Pacific. And I go live every Sunday. It's called Angie's Art Party, 2:00 p.m. Pacific. Everybody's welcome. If you're a knitter or crocheter, you're welcome to the Mixed Media Lives. All my mixed media people, junk journalers, crafters, a lot of them are going to the Crochet and Knit Lives, and everybody's welcome in everything. Okay. All right, you guys, that's it for this one. I will talk to you guys in the next video.